right, welcome to another edition of the 24th Floor. It's week 2 of high school football. We got a special guest in the house. We'll get to him in just a minute. And Richard Denson is here as well to help co-host the show. But before we get to all that, let's talk about the big idea. Rich?
Germantown kicked off the season with a big win over Houston, 44-23, in a packed rivalry matchup. Sophomore QB Jordan Shelton made his first start, and he stole the show, passing for 2 touchdowns, running for 1, and showing serious poise all night. The Mustangs kept it close, but Germantown, they pulled away in the second half with big plays from Shelton and the man, Larry Johnson. Coach Robinson, who we'll get to in just a minute, he was loving the effort, especially from a young QB stepping up in the spotlight. This Friday, Germantown hosts Bartlett in our game of the week, while Houston, they look to rebound as they travel to face Whitehaven.
Well, there you go. So with our game of the week coming up, we decided we'd bring in the man himself, Coach Gene Robinson III.
The third.
Got to make that point.
Yes, sir,
Thanks so much for joining us today. First of all, let's talk about it, man. What a huge win over the weekend.
Yes, it was, man. The guys came out, they played tough, they played hard. I praised their attitude and effort. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it was a little sloppy and things we have to clean up, and those are your week 1 deals, man. But definitely a good win over a quality team now, obviously. And we know that team, big rival, neighborhood rival, so a great quality win for sure.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. And Coach, obviously last year, the talk of the town was Houston and Collierville. You guys were kind of the underdogs, like the team that was riding below the radar, 7-5 finish, to come in week 1, talking about going against a team that was in the state championship the past 2 seasons. Talk about how much that really kind of put some oomph on y'all name to start the season.
Well, coming in last year, we were relatively young, so those guys, we returned 8 starters on offense, you know what I mean? We got 10 seniors on defense, so those guys coming into this game, we know Houston. They've been starters for the last 2 years, so just coming into the game, man, with a chip on our shoulder because those guys knocked us off last 2 years. Actually, to get to state, they knocked us off in the quarterfinals, so this is a rivalry by no means necessary, you know what I mean? So just to knock them off, it was a good win for us.
Now, today is film day.
Okay.
Every coach, every player.
For sure.
Particularly the players, don't look forward to film day.
Definitely don't.
What are some of the things, even though you get the big win, I know as a coach, you got a list of things that you're saying, man, we got to get better at X, Y, and Z. What are some of the things you feel like you guys got to clean up before this next coming game?
Man, definitely just alignment assignment. If we can align right and do our assignment, I think we'll be fine. I like us against anyone then. So we definitely have to clean up the alignment assignment things. Just the mental breakdowns that you have in week 1, we have to clean it up, and we have to do that, man, with urgency.
Yeah.
With urgency. So that's our main focus today, and we'll get on that.
Immediately.
Yeah. ASAP. For sure.
Now, Coach, I'm a big revenge guy. Just in every aspect of life, I like the chip on your shoulder. And we had the video going of last year, you guys' game against Bartlett, because that will be our game of the week this Friday. They came in, they beat you guys 19-zip, a shutout victory. What does it feel, not only for that being a rivalry game, to be like that left a sour taste in your mouth, and you got an opportunity to get that get back on them?
Yeah, definitely, man. Obviously, the guys in the locker room are talking about it right now.
Yeah.
We went over there and they beat us 19-0. I mean, I think they passed the ball 3 times, so they ran the ball over us. Our D-line won't accept that this year. Our linebacker group won't accept it this year. You know what I mean? So, man, and obviously on the offensive side of the ball with our explosive guys, we got to put up points. So that's the talk of the locker room between the guys before we even said anything about it, So we have a chip on our shoulder for that, and we're looking to get to work.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the players. We've talked about, the win, the game, and then the upcoming game, but who are some of the key kids? Obviously, every kid is important in a team game.
For sure.
But who are some of the standouts that really have been catching eyes and that people need to be on the lookout for?
Well, like we talked about earlier, our sophomore quarterback, Jordan Shelton, man, stepped up big time for us in a big game, in a crazy environment, So, man, excited for that sophomore Jordan Shelton. Obviously, we know Juju Ba who's committed to Wisconsin right now, man, on that D-line, man, and he heads that group, and he led us really, really well. Then we had a sophomore by the name of Peyton Ballard from our Mike linebacker standpoint. Man, so those guys flew around, and we were really, really excited. You know, on the outside is Trayvon McGorry, who's committed to Western Kentucky, you know, who started us off with a touchdown, you know. So those are the guys, man, and we're really excited about this group, you know, and looking forward to Friday night. This is going to be a big one.
So, Coach, talking about the class and the region you all in, it's kind of known as probably one of the premier classes of Tennessee high school football. You had you guys, Collierville, Houston. Now, like you said, a bit of reshuffling. You got Whitehaven in it. You got Southwind. Just tell me, I mean, we talked about it last week with Houston's head coach. Tell me your whole thoughts about all the reshuffling, but the challenges that now brings with extra competition.
Well, you know, with the rescheduling, man, I kind of like the big group. You know, because as a head coach, it's tough to go find a schedule, to fill a schedule. So it's a lot tougher finding 7 games than it is finding 3 games, you know. So that was a tough deal.
Especially if you're good.
Right. So that was a tough deal that we often joke about. But obviously, I mean, we got some good talent in our region with Whitehaven, Southwind, and White Station. So each week will play itself out. Obviously, that's why we scheduled Houston and a Bartlett, so we can still kind of cross play as well. So we'll see how it goes. But so
this week is the game of the week, Bartlett, Germantown. We're going to be there. The real question I have is, are you guys going to be cooking out there?
Come on now.
He does love food.
Listen.
Ruben was out there with the pancake last Friday.
Listen, if you like an environment, man, a high school environment, how it's supposed to go down, man, you got to get to one town. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And you got to be there early, 4 o'clock, just so you won't park at the park. So make sure you get there on time, you know, bring the kids, bring the family. The grills will be smoking.
Okay, the grills are smoking.
What I mean? And it's going on.
Man, see, I got to pull up because, see, I'm still somewhat new around here, but I remember last year when I was covering high school football, I was pulling up the Melrose. That was my beat. You know what I'm saying? And I always say it was like a block party there. You got to get there early. It's like, dang, where can I go park at? You know what I'm saying? So,
no doubt.
You know, I'm excited about what y'all got going on, man. You know, I love these rivalry games. Germantown, Bartlett, I think it'll be a fun one. Especially, like I said, a big revenge guy. So to kind of see you guys and, you know, have that chip on your shoulder. So good luck, Coach.
For sure. Appreciate it, man.
Coach, appreciate your time. I will be there by 4 p.m. looking for these smoking grills.
Let's do it.
I made notes, and if I don't find them, I'm coming to you.
Oh, you're going to find them right there.
Our game of the week.
Bartlett and Germantown. You don't want to miss it. We'll have much more on that coming up. Plus, we're going to break down everything you need to know about this first week of high school football. Some of the big wins, some of the crazy losses, and an amazing play you don't want to miss right after this.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with ABC 24 and 24 Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on 24 Plus. The 24 Plus TV app. Streaming 24/7 local news from the team you trust on your time.
Rain showers through the day today, and we're starting.
Track how the weather will impact your day.
Rain coming in tonight into tomorrow.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene. Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. 24 Plus, complete coverage of your local news, weather, and more.
Here comes our first batch of rain.
Some severe thunderstorms and even several tornado warnings.
I think the bigger issue is going to be the wind gusts. So you start getting some branches knocked around. You could definitely see some power outages today. Those storms could pack a punch.
It's not just the thunderstorms, it's the fact that this low pressure is so strong.
How big that storm system was.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on 24 Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. When news breaks, watch 24 Plus. See the story as it's happening. Be on the scene, faster than ever before. Live updates from the team you trust. Stream breaking news on 24 Plus. Download free on your TV now.
Work, and we let the results come out how they may.
You said no complaining. I don't know if I ever. that's a rarity anymore. Let's talk a little bit though about your schedule. Starting on the road.
Yes.
You know, like that's a tough one, don't you think? I know you guys had some trouble getting your schedule situated.
Well, I think this, in order to be the best, you got to play the best, and iron sharpens iron. So we have a great opponent in week 1. We'll travel the road and go up to Martin Westview, where they have the top quarterback in the 2028 class, #1 in the country, Graham Simpson, to go along with the running back, Asa Bonds, who has an offer from Ohio State, Miami, and other guys. Then they have another kid named Jordan, #1. They have about 4 or 5 guys that have major D1 offers. And, you know, I think that Coach McConnell and I had a great conversation this past spring about trying to schedule games. He had a hard time scheduling games, and so did I. So I called him and said, Coach, do you mind we play this game? We can play it home and home. So I decided we go up there to him this year, and then he'll return the favor, come back to us next year, you know. Then we have 2 games in Mississippi, kind of like Houston does. So, I mean, we have to sometimes go outside the box to try to fill our schedule, which is nothing new, but, you know, I think our guys are up to the challenge.
Let's start with the basics. Think of this as sports betting for dummies. First up, the point spread. That's the number odds makers use to even out a matchup. So, for example, if the Grizzlies are -5, that means they have to win by more than 5 points for you to cover. Now, if they win by exactly 5, that's called a push. And if they win by less or lose altogether, the underdog, well, they cover. Let's move on. Second, the money line. This one's simple. Just pick who wins the game. I mean, that's easy. That's kind of like how we used to bet with our family. Like, okay, I'm going to bet on the Grizzlies. Oh, I'm going to bet on the Timberwolves. But the odds decide the payout here in the world of sports betting. So if you see the Memphis Tigers at like +200, I'll kind of make it easy for you. If you bet $100, you win $200. Now, if they're -200, you need to bet $200 just to win $100. So I hope you're following me there. The plus sign that you oftentimes see on these things, that means the underdog. The minus sign means they're the favorite. And finally, let's move on to the over-under, also called the total. Odds makers set a number for combined points on this. Let's say, for example, the Memphis Grizzlies game, the over-under is 215. Now, if both teams score more than that, it's the over. Less than that, the under. Now, in this situation, it doesn't matter who wins. It's all about that final score. That's what you're looking at when you're looking at the totals. So, all right, let's hit a few more quick terms you'll hear all the time. Let's start with favorite and underdog. Simple. The favorite is expected to win. The underdog isn't. That's kind of self-explanatory. Now, parlay. Now, you might hear all this all the time about parlays. This is when you stack multiple bets together, usually 2, 3, 4. The more you do, you know what I'm saying, the better your odds are. And when you win them all, you got to hit big. But even if one loses, you lose the whole ticket. So, for example, if I bet on 4 things, I need.
All right, week 1 of high school football gave us a really good game of the week here on ABC 24. We're talking Southwind at Los Ann. It was good on paper, at least, right? Los Ann coming out strong, jumping on the board first. Got a touchdown from TJ Jenkins. This is actually a run that started the game. Had a really nice, strong run at that point. But here's TJ Jenkins hooking up with Joel Rogers. Nice ball, nice catch. Get off me. Let me get in that end zone. You got to do the work to get the points, right? And that's what he did. Really nice score. And then the defense actually doing their job as well, flying around for Los Ann early in this one, trying to make some plays. In fact, this one could have been a fumble recovery, but he ends up picking it up, and then, boom, you end up getting a stop. Some good plays on defense to start things, but that's kind of where it ran out. It fizzled after that. Southwind answering back strong. This is a handoff for a nice, strong run, but then also commit Kelvin Perkins. Really kind of showing people why he is who he is, one of the top quarterbacks in the area, hooking up with Chad Brooks for a touchdown. This one is all the work, great blocking ahead to clears a path. He gets in there, ties the game at 7-all. After that, you know, Perkins just doing it with his legs. The dude can run as well. He scrambles and finds his way into the end zone. The Jaguars take the lead, and they never look back in this one. Final score, this one ends up being 42-10 in that game. That was our first game of the week. Hopefully we are not a bad luck charm with the game of the week because we were at Los Ann, and then Los Ann gets beat. But we wanted to talk a little bit about what stood out in that week 1 game. To me, it was a couple of things. It was the things, Southwind picking up that win on the road. Mm-hmm. It's a big win on the road to start the season. And then, of course, Kelvin Perkins really kind of doing his thing at will.
Now, we talked about it with Coach, about how much I love the revenge aspect. Now, the last time these two teams played each other was in 2022. and Lausanne basically beat them by that score, 44-10. And so for Southwind to come back, Coach said a lot of those players on the team weren't there, but he had some freshmen. So it was still some familiarity. It was like the guys who were on that team were freshmen, and they still remembered it. So to come in Lausanne's house and beat them 42-10, it's a big victory. And then, like you said, Kelvin Perkins, he's a Mr. Tennessee guy. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Tennessee 2023 Austin Peay commit. He showed that this is his year. I mean, all a guy like that needs is a championship. So this starts the process to that by getting a victory over a big team.
I mean, it's week one, and we all know it's a long season, and there's a lot of stuff that can happen. But that's definitely a statement to make in the beginning of the season on that first game of the week. There were a ton of other good games in the area as well. Let's talk about some of the other games. Give you some, remind you some of the scores from the area. Arlington, new coaching staff out there in Arlington, Jeb Jones and company, starting their first year. They get a win over Raleigh, Egypt, 49-6. In fact, I think they scored like 35 points in the first half. Then you see Christian Brothers with a big win over Fayette Ware as well.
Yeah, Christian Brothers, they have a guy that we should be on the lookout for. I remember Avery was telling me about him before he left. His name is Benjamin Buckhold. And I like his name because it makes me think of Benjamin Button.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And then I remember
Does it grow old, though, is the question.
Well, I don't know. I know there were two words that Avery described him, and that was violent linebacker.
So here's one of the ones that kind of caught everybody by surprise. At least, I shouldn't say caught everybody by surprise, but was kind of a shocker is the score of the Mace-Westview game. You expected a good game, but Westview winning 34-0. I mean, that kind of stood out in week one.
I mean, Westview is a team that had championship aspirations themselves. I believe they won the championship in their class, but Mace, I mean, it's called the Welcome Back Tour for Coach Cedric Miller in the game. It kind of a rude awakening. But if you remember from last year from Mace, they lost week one against Lausanne.
Yeah,
and then they just won everything else. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's why exactly they're still in the rankings today, but it was definitely a welcome back.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that MUS Bartlett game here in a second. But first, let's give you another few scores to talk about. Trezevant and Booker T. Washington. Trezevant with a big win, 40-0.
Shut them out.
Shutout there. And then Bolivar Central and Lexington, 7-24 there. Memphis East. Did you see that score?
Yeah.
Is that a typo?
75-8.
County, 75-8 over Memphis East. So,
also, that Melrose Central game, that's not one to look at. Melrose, another team that was in the state championship, start the season at home, and Central comes into their house and whoops them.
And they got a big game coming up.
And like I said, it's a block party every time you go down to Melrose. So, I mean, it was booming down there in Orange Mountain, and Central came in and beat them.
Maybe the party lasted a little too long. All right, so we've talked about some of the scores. Rich, let's talk about the play of the night, though.
Yeah, I remember I was telling you about it when it happened. MUS starting the season off, Ruben, with a bang. They go into Bartlett, and they get a victory, and it came on the final play. A 45-yard touchdown pass from Price Ranovich to Cannon Sherman. That helped the Owls stun the Panthers. 23-17 was your final. And I'd just like to give a special shout out to Shane O'Brien at St. George for getting this to us, because absolutely, Ruben, as you know, we can't be everywhere in the Mid-South. So stuff like this where we can get the highlights. I mean, I'm always combing through social media, just reading what's going on, but sometimes I like to get my eyes on it instead of just reading about it. So we can't be everywhere around the Mid-South, so we really appreciate when you all send those highlights going forward at me or Ruben on Twitter or
You see
X,
it at the bottom there.
whatever you want to call it. I mean, I still call it Twitter.
Guess which one is mine?
Is X. And then, yeah, RD2 Sports for me, Ruben Diaz TV for him. Hashtag ABC24 Floor, and I promise we will do what we can to get it on this program.
It's important to know we want to highlight those plays whenever we have an opportunity. So if there's a crazy play that happens, we're looking for a play of the night every Friday night to put in that show to kind of spread around the Mid-South and all throughout the viewing area. So if something crazy happens at your game, great run, great pass, great catch, great tackle, whatever. If you toss it on social media, make sure and add us. If you can't toss it on social media, email us something. Let us know so we can get our hands on it, and then we'll put it on the air, because we definitely want to have those plays of the night that we can showcase throughout the week.
Use that hashtag ABC24 Floor.
Yeah, don't forget, though, we've talked about last week one's games. Let's talk about week two's games. Some of these games, of course, we've got, Bartlett and Germantown as our game of the week, but there are some other big games to keep an eye on this week.
Yeah, and these rankings all courtesy of the Tennessee Sports Writer Association and USA Today Sports Network. So that's why you see those numbers. Like we talked about, Oxford at Collierville, they got a big victory to start last Friday, and they are tied for 5th in Class 6A. Then Melrose look to bounce back after that loss to Central. They are going on the road against a team with title aspirations themselves, and Fairleigh, who is ranked number 5 in Class 2A.
Yeah, you also see Covington at Haywood. Haywood there with both of those teams with their ranking as well. Another game to keep an eye on, Whitehaven at Houston. That could be a great one. And then Mumford at Millington as well.
Yeah, and then Mace, like we said, Coach Miller looks to get it back right. Still on the road. And it was crazy because when we had him last week, I was talking to him about, dang, man, when do y'all start the season? When do y'all play at home? I mean, you're talking about you're the defending champions and you take a minute before you are at home. And so, yeah, they go on the road even further. Well, I won't say it's further, but still crossing the border into Mississippi to play Senatobia. So they'll have their work cut out for them, but, they have to have short memory after Friday's loss.
Yeah, so another great week of high school football. We'll, of course, have as many of those games covered as possible. We'll be trying to get you highlights for as many as possible on Friday night whenever we're breaking down our game of the week and then, of course, our play of the night that we can find as well.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that Whitehaven-Houston because Whitehaven, they're coming. But look, time for a quick break, and then we're back with 901 Bets. I break down round robin, show you how to spread your risk, and I tell you my entire future bet for the day.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with ABC 24 and 24+. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on 24+. The 24+ TV app. Streaming 24/7 local news from the team you trust on your time.
Rain showers through the day today, and we're starting.
Track how the weather will impact your day.
Rain coming in tonight into tomorrow.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news.
What up, and welcome to the 901 Betting segment. Think of this as sports betting for dummies right here in Memphis. Now, before we get rolling, quick reminder, if gambling has become a problem for you, hit that Tennessee Gambling Hotline. That number on your screen, 800-889-9789. Now let's jump in. First up, you've probably heard people toss around the term round robin. What's that mean? Think of it like this. Instead of throwing all your picks into one giant parlay, a round robin chops them up into smaller combos. Say you've got the Memphis Tigers, the Grizzlies, and maybe one NFL team you like, like the Tennessee Titans, but I know Memphis people not kind of rocking with the Titans. But anyway, a round robin makes mini parlays with every pairing. That way, even if one team lets you down, you can still hit on the others and walk away with a little something. It's a way to spread your risk and keep the action going. Anyway, now let's talk futures. One I really like is Trey McBride. He's the tight end for the Arizona Cardinals. His touchdown line this year is set at 4.5, and I'm taking the over. Here's why. McBride broke out late last season. He built chemistry with quarterback Kyler Murray, became a real go-to target in the red zone over guys like Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah. The first-round pick from last year, that Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah, named after his dad, Marvin Harrison, the great Indianapolis Colts wideout. Yeah, that guy was not the go-to target. It was Trey McBride. And the Cardinals, they still don't have a ton of other proven pass catchers. So 5 touchdowns, that feels more than doable if he stays healthy. And remember, you don't have to lock in at one sports book. Every book is going to post that line, so you can bet it pretty much anywhere. For me, though, I'm leaning hard toward the over on McBride's 4.5 touchdowns. And just a reminder, this content is for entertainment purposes only. ABC 24 and its affiliates do not encourage gambling. Viewer discretion is advised. Any betting decisions you make are solely your responsibility. So please do not send us no hate mail because we are not responsible for any financial losses or wins resulting from information presented on this program. So don't be coming at me, be like, man, Rich, you said blah, 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 blah. I gave you what I would do, what my advice, but at the end of the day, that's your decision. Once again, if you or someone you know is struggling with gambling, hit that Tennessee Gambling Hotline, 800-889-9789. 9789. That's your 901 bets for today. Time for a quick break, and we're back with the best thing I saw.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with ABC 24 and 24 Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on 24 Plus. The 24 Plus TV app. Streaming 24/7 local news from the team you trust on your time.
Rain showers through the day today, and we're starting.
Track how the weather will impact your day.
Rain coming in tonight into tomorrow.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene. Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. 24 Plus, complete coverage of your local news, weather, and more.
Here comes our first batch of rain.
Some severe thunderstorms and even several tornado warnings.
I think the bigger issue is going to be the wind gusts. So you start getting some branches knocked around. You could definitely see some power outages today. Those storms could pack a punch.
It's not just the thunderstorms, it's the fact that this low pressure is so strong.
How big that storm system was.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on 24 Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. When news breaks, watch 24 Plus. See the story as it's happening. Be on the scene, faster than ever before. Live updates from the team you trust. Stream breaking news on 24 Plus. Download free on your TV now.
The best thing I saw this weekend, Ruben, my Atlanta Dream knocking off the reigning WNBA champion New York Liberty this past Saturday, 78-62 for their 24th win of the season. And yes, isn't that ironic that it's 24th? Not because we're right here on the ABC 24th floor, but that 24th win, Ruben, now the most in a season in franchise history. Alicia Gray led the way with 19 points. Breonna Jones had 17. And the Dream, they got a bit of cushion, Ruben, on second place in the league. Dream have now won 8 of their last 10. Still, Ruben, my pick to win it all.
Let me ask you a quick question. How did Brittany Griner do?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention like that to her.
I
I was paying attention to Alicia Gray.
Okay, so
I got stock on her.
The thing I would say is the team that I'm kind of keeping an eye on right now are the Aces, winners of 10 in a row.
Okay.
Now getting up to the top. I know you've picked.
They're right behind us.
I know you picked the Dream to win it all.
We still have that futures bet.
There's such a thing as
the bet
peaking
up.
too early, right? Especially in professional sports.
So last week when I was talking about momentum with the Cubs, I
told you were talking about 3 games.
Three games in a row.
No,
the Dream have won 8 of their last 10.
We're not. To be fair, and let's break this down. To be fair, we're not discussing. We're not arguing. I'm not debating the importance of gaining momentum. I'm saying winning 3 games out of 165 games is not momentum. Winning 10 games out of a 45-game season is real momentum.
And I think winning 8 of your last 10 when you're going towards the end of the season is important when you have wins over now the Liberty.
I agree.
And they beat the Minnesota Lynx.
Yeah.
Twice.
So we're not debating whether or not the Dream have momentum. We're debating whether or not the Cubs have momentum.
The Cubs do have momentum. They just swept the Angels.
At that point in time, it was 3 games out of 165 games. It's not momentum to me, bro.
They just swept the Angels. And the Brewers are on a free fall. We're about to get off topic on MLB, but let's bring up this futures bet again. Remember, folks, last week I told you, if you want to put your money on my Atlanta Dream, those odds back last week, now I haven't paid attention to what they are this morning, that was at plus 1,000. And even then, last week they had won 8 in their last 10. And what does it say, Ruben? Standout players, Ryan Howard, Alicia Gray, Breonna Jones, and Brittany Griner.
I don't think, so what I'm going to ask you is very quickly, are you confident that your Atlanta Dream are going to win it?
Yes.
Okay. How many times has Atlanta let you down?
Many times.
Whoa!
It doesn't
Say that
matter.
one more time for the people in the back.
Many times.
Many times.
I always say.
Many times.
A woman cannot hurt me like Atlanta sports has hurt me.
But yeah,
whether it's the Falcons,
but you're gonna put all your money on it.
But you're gonna
put your money on it.
Just like how these women be saying, I'm gonna stand behind my man, I'm gonna stand behind my city, I'm gonna stand behind my teams. Atlanta Dream, we've taken it all, Ruben. I don't know what. You can't tell me why the Atlanta Dream can't win the championship?
Because I don't think they can. I don't think they have a chance. I don't think they have an answer for the interior play of the Aces.
Now, what if the Aces get put out before they even
Then they
see
have
us?
a chance.
Okay. And we beat the Aces.
But that's if you were asking me on the matchup, that's why I'd say it. But that's just my 2 cents. What do I know?
Place that bet on the dream, folks.
All right.
Place that bet on the dream, folks. I'm letting you know. Place that bet
You
on
can
the
place
dream.
the bet on this show being over. That's going to do it for today's episode of 24th Floor. Shout out to everybody who made it possible, including Jared Robinson in the back, Brooklyn High helping behind the scenes as well. They're always helping get this show together. Big shout out to Germantown High School head coach Gene Robinson III for being here. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you on the other side.
See you on the other side. Go Dream!
Continue with us and watch free now on the 24 Plus app everywhere you stream.